I have failed so many online assessments and interviews over the last couple of months. When I found out that you had to go through 3 types of interviews just to land an internship, I was blown away. I was like, oh my goodness, let me change my major to business. But after doing some research and doing my binging on YouTube, I found out that there is a step-by-step method and way to get and pass these interviews. And after implementing these steps and making some of my own changes here and there, I can happily say that I landed a big tech company software engineering internship. And in this video, I'm going to share with you step by step exactly how I did it and how I landed one of these internships. My name is Bradley Allen, and I hope you get a lot of value from this video because I wish I had this type of video when I first started. So let's get into it. Okay, step number 1, projects. The reason we need projects is to persuade the person that is hiring that we know what we're doing and we know something about software. If you don't have any experience, the projects is your experience. And you got to get this in your head when you are, about to set up your application process in step 1. So we need these projects to put on your resume and start applying. That's why the projects are step 1 and the resume is not step 1. We need the projects to put on the resume. So with these projects, we want the company that we are trying to get hired for to see that we know how to code and give us a chance. We want them to think like, oh, this guy's did project X and doesn't that look pretty cool? We should get him to hire us. This is what we want to do with our projects. And you can also do projects that you want. You just got to have some sort of experience working with software. And the cooler the project, the more in depth, the more the project shows that you know what you're doing, the better. So you may be wondering what type of projects you should do. Any project that showcases that you have learned X technology and created Y with X technology. So, for example, one of the projects that I did, I needed a shell program and I used C to create the shell program for Linux. You see how we use the software to create something? That's the kind of point you want to get across with your projects. This is what worked for me. The projects show that you can learn a new technology, learn it, create something with it. That's the baseline, because this is what's going to get you hired. This is what they're looking for, and this is what worked for me. And if you still need help deciding on what projects to do, all I did is I had a couple CRUD projects using C++ and Java and a shell project. But you're going to have those couple of projects, and then you're going to have a personal portfolio project using web development. Okay, this is super important because this project is so good because the portfolio itself, this website that you have, it's going to showcase all of your other projects. And this project is a project itself. You see where I'm coming? So you're going to do is you're going to create you a website using whatever stack you want, whatever type of situation you want to do. It's up to you. It's your stuff. So you have your website. Then you put how you created those projects in the code, the GitHub code and links in that personal portfolio. So when you look over this personal portfolio, you can see like, oh, he's done this. Oh, here's the code. Oh, he has a video showcasing how he did it and it works and this and this. Oh, it just shows that you got your stuff together. And this is important because we're going to use this. So look, when you create the personal portfolio online, like this website, you're going to want to have a professional domain. So it's usually yourname.com or yourname.io, something like that, very professional. And you're going to pay for this and get it online and running. It's your website. It's very important. It shows you know what you're doing with websites and stuff. And it's just all in all good because we're going to use this for the resume part. We're going to put it on our resume. So if this person is really interested in our resume, they can click on our personal portfolio that showcases our projects and all that, and we created it anyways. We created the website. So it's just all in all, it gives you extra credit points when you're trying to get hired for one of these internships. So after you have your step 1, which is projects, your 3 projects or your projects along with your portfolio, the step 2 is resume. So the resume is the first thing that the company sees, and this single PDF is so important because down to the last character, everything matters in this resume. somebody is going to look at hundreds of thousands of resumes a day, and if yours doesn't have like pop out or have simple, it has one wrong capital letter, you're gone. This is the way these guys are running it, or that's how I think they are. This is what got me the internship. So just giving y'all some tips. I wish you could just take the knowledge from this video and use what you want. But so there are many different types of flavors and types of resumes that you can do. For what I did, I'm going to share what I did. So what I did, I had a header, big header, my name, Bradley. Okay, my name was huge. Bold it, put it on top, so it jumps out. Then I had my area, zip code. I'm going to put some stuff on the screen. I had my phone number, email, domain name of the website that we were talking about, of the portfolio website, all in the header. Boom, all my information. If they want to contact me, they can. Now, after the header, I had a summary of my skills. This was like a quick rundown on who I am, the technologies I used, like can problem solve, all the stuff that it's like big words, and you got to make it sound very professional. That's what I did for mine. And after the header section, I had the after the summary and skills. So I had the header, the summary, skills, and then after that I had the project section. This part is important because this is what's going to like show the hiring guys that you're a software guy, you're a software engineer, you can code. So what I did is I had the project name, the dates that I worked on the project on the side, very important. This is your work experience. Then I had I explained what the project was right below it, subheader, and then I showed what technologies and what I implemented and why I created the project in the first place. This shows that like, okay, this guy is not just making this cool weird thing on the side. This guy learned some technology, created something with that technology, and it's a project now. This guy's doing stuff. So, or girl, this is the point you want to get across with your projects. This is important because depending on how you word your projects, it's going to show how much it weighs, like how much that project means to you. And plus, when you're in the interview, these projects pop up. Like, oh, what did you do for this? What kind of code did you work with? Oh, well, so if the interview says like, hey, have you worked with web development at all? Oh, by the way, I have a project on my resume. Yeah, I did web development here, blah, 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 blah. It's good. It worked. The projects is your entry point. This is how you do it, man. You put the projects have a lot of weight on your resume. So after the projects, I had the education section. This is basically, whatever education you're in. Some people are going to be high school diploma. Some people are going to be college or when you graduate. Just make sure you put it on there, slap it on there. And then that's it. Just make sure that your resume is super clean, clear, concise, simple, and understandable. Everything should be able to look out. You should be able to read your whole resume with one glance over. Like, oh, that's a lot of stuff. Like, you don't have, what does this say? Oh, that, you want to be super clean. Like, pull it up. Oh man, like minimal, or not minimal. You want to have it a chunk of information, very concise and clear. Get your point across. And this is because people glance over it. They're going over hundreds of thousands of resumes a day, and they're going to glance over yours. And if it pops out, it pops out. That's. And sometimes what I think these guys, these these companies are using scanners where they scan your resume for keywords that match you to the position that you're hiring for, you're applying for. And I think that's a big part of this resume. Make sure you have them keywords like HTML, MongoDB, and all that stuff. JavaScript. Make sure you put those keywords multiple times, and because I'm sure they use resume scanners. So step 3, after you have your projects, your resume, step 3, applying. You need to massively apply to every internship that is posted on every website or anything. Like, if it says software engineering internship, apply. If it says anything, apply. Just apply, because this is what's gonna increase your chances of getting an interview. I know there's 1,000 other people who are watching who are trying to get hired to be a intern for software engineer or any type. There's going to be a lot of competition, and you're just gonna. It's a numbers game. Just send it all out. Send a whole bunch of interviews or send a whole bunch of resumes. Apply. Now, in most cases, the big tech companies, they will start hiring. They will start interviewing the August and August through December of that previous year. But companies are always hiring usually, and you just want to be ready when something pops up. Now, we will be applying to at least 10 internships a day. Okay, I know it might sound high to some people and low to others, but this is a good starting point for applying for internships. And if you do 10 a day for 30 days, that's 300 applications. You just gotta, it's a grind. But to make the grind easier, I got some tips to do this for you guys. I got some tips. You will want to keep an Excel file. Okay, create an Excel file called Applications Fall 2023 or something like that. Okay, boom, you got the Excel file. Now you want to keep track of the name of the company, the date you applied. At the top of the spreadsheet, of the Excel spreadsheet, you're going to want to have your links, such as your LinkedIn and the link to your domain, so you can easily copy and paste into the applications that you are filling out. It's going to make it super easy, and you're also going to have the companies you applied for and the dates. And this is what I did whenever I applied. And what I would do is, if I got rejected email, if I got an email saying I was rejected, I would highlight it in red. That means we're done with that company. And if I got a interview, or I am interviewing, I would highlight that into yellow. And then if I got an offer, or I was waiting on an offer or something like that, or like I feel good about this place because they called me and they said they were going to keep up, I would put it in green. So this gives you how to keep track of all these places that you're applying to, and it makes it a little bit easier. So step 3.5, this is number 3.5. While you are applying to these interviews, you're going to have to prepare for them while you're doing it. And so this means Leetcoding. And Leetcoding and studying data structures and algorithms, and just preparing for the interview. I made a video, click in the link, I'm going to link it up here. It's a video on how to start Leetcoding as a beginner. It's what I did to start Leetcoding, and it got me into the zone. It's not more of solving the Leetcode, but you're going to want to study for the interview rather than just getting code, semicolon for semicolon, everything down on the code. You want to get ideas of the questions, get a feel for it, thinking. But at this step 3.5, at this step, it's to grind and prepare your mind to crush the interview. Okay, it is at this step that it will decide whether you get it or not. The more work you put in towards Leetcoding and preparing for behavioral questions, the better you'll be during the interview. And so just keep a good positive mindset while you're studying, and just think positive, because if you think that you're going to fail, you'll most likely fail. So and also Leetcode can get you down. You realize you can't do two-sum after you solved it 5 times. You still can't do it. But we're not going to talk about it. Look, the thing is, I will make a video on grinding the in-depth tech parts, the actual knowledge and information learning part of it. That I love doing that stuff, so I'll probably make a couple videos on the minute subtopics that you need to know. But step 4, prepare for the interview. All right, you got an interview, you passed the online assessment, you did all that more like me, less like me parts of the application, and you finally got a call back for an interview. So in most cases, the interview is in 2 parts. You have the behavioral part and the coding part. The behavior part is like 10 minutes of who you are, what you do, explain yourself, what type of person you are. And then you have the coding part. It's like, okay, I see who you are now. Can you code? Can you solve this with me? Can you explain to me your thoughts in a very structured, understandable way? You'll be talking with an engineer at the company, or somebody who is oversee your position, somebody who knows the tech stuff, the techie side. You're not talking to HR, you're talking to a guy who codes, and an engineer, so, or a girl, guy or girl. So to prepare for this, I'm going to give you some tips that work for me. So during the behavior part, keep all of your behavioral answers tech oriented or software oriented. Okay, in most cases they're going to be like, I'm going to ask you some questions. You can tell me about anything. If you have a customer service background, you can tell me about that or whatever. Just tell me, answer the question. And the thing is, you want to keep it tech oriented. So like if they ask you questions like, how would you perform in this, or give me an example of when this happened or whatever, I would give them tech oriented answers such as like, oh yeah, when I was programming my operating system project in this class, I had a problem with this guy and we were coding together. We had to hop on the GitHub and figure stuff out and then Discord each other. You got to keep it like tech oriented rather than like, yeah, I was at the gym, and I was spotting this guy and he high-fived me and I didn't like that. You want to keep it like relatable within the career field type. You wouldn't say, yeah, I was scanning groceries at my other job and this person was mad at me and I got yelled and I had to calmly, tell her to calm down, because that's most likely not going to happen. It's not relatable to the interview. So you give them examples of tech or, technology problems that you solved and, actual real things that happened to you. So, after you do the behavioral stuff, in most cases, if the interviewer like sees that you're a type of person that would be a good fit, like behaviorally, then usually in most cases, if they like you, they'll give you an easy problem. Or if they didn't like you, but still want to give you a chance to see if you can like overdo it, like if you were lacking in behavioral, but let's see if you can code, they'll give you a harder problem. But you just want to hope that everything goes well, they like you, and they give you a medium to easy problem, understandable, not like a dynamic programming or greedy problem that's super hard to understand. So in any case, just whatever you get, try your best to solve it. And so I got some tips for the coding section. So what I did is I thought of the employee or the interviewer, I thought as him or her as a coworker who were trying to solve this Leetcode problem together, except he knows how to solve it. He's just testing me, so this mindset kind of helped me out when I was interviewing, because it calmed me down. It's like, okay, I'm just conversing with this guy trying to solve this problem and he wants to know if I can figure it out. So I was always thinking out loud and telling this interviewer my thoughts of like where I'm going and the direction I'm heading. Like, okay, I think I can do this. And what happened was, when I was in the wrong direction or right direction, they would always reassure and ask me if I'm going in the right direction. Like, are you sure you want to do that? And when they say that, you always really want to think and not just say, yeah, I'm right. You really want to like think, like, because these interviewers do give you hints and stuff. And so that's what helped me. And also, I wanted to let you know that it's like solving a puzzle with somebody, like a teacher, and the teacher's watching over you, and while you're solving it, you're like, well, I'm going to try to do this, and they say, well, why don't you try to do this? Why are you doing that? You got to think of it in that situation. It's not more of like, okay, solve this problem, let me see if you can do it. It's more of like showing how you work with solving a problem, and if making sure you don't like shut down or give up or rage quit and all that. It's just more of like to see if you can do it. And if you can do it, that's awesome. You did your Leetcode grinding, you grinded enough. They just want to see if you're trying, you have a positive mindset, and you can solve problems. That's it. Can you converse with other humans as a programmer? That type of deal. And so after the interview is over, you just hit the Zoom call down or whatever you're doing, you're done. You got to take a moment to recoup and relax, because you just made it past the last stage of the interview. You don't realize that that's a lot of stages. You had to apply, all that nonsense. To relax, recoup, okay? Once you feel better, go back in, apply, and keep grinding. You need to repeat steps 3 and 4 and keep going again, because it's the numbers games, and whoever just keeps doing it more and keeps learning and improving and Leetcoding and improving and learning, or like, I didn't do too well on this interview, let me change something, and for the next interview you do a little bit better. So just repeat. Eventually you will land a software engineering internship and actually get paid to code and program. So guys, like the video. If you got some value out of it, comment down below some of the tips that might help somebody else when they're scrolling down watching this video. and subscribe. You know, guys, I will see y'all on the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.